Good evening, friends. It's Sunday night, 1st of May. We have another gig webinar, and tonight the topic is the Gig Investor Club. Now, to understand the relationship between the Gig CFI, which is our community bank, and the Gig Investor Club, let's have a look at the following diagram. So Gig CFI is a regulated entity, community bank regulated by the Reserve Bank, and it has the following financial products: fixed deposit savings, 6, 12, or 24 months, where you get good above market interest rates; a 32-day call account, where you can get money market rates; our loan link share account, which will allows you to get access to interest-free loans; and then in yellow, the investor account. So the investor account is a holding account while the investor waits for the right investment opportunities. And as you accumulate funds in this account, any amount above 2,000 Rand will earn money market rates while you wait to invest your money. But as a member of the Gig Investor Club, you will now have access to opportunities, who comes by the way of various opportunities researched by our panel of specialists. They get introduced to the Gig Investors Club. Members invest their own money. They take their own risk, and current investment opportunities that we'll talk about more just now would be the cattle feedlot project, investing in gold, and Forex. So tonight's agenda is about the Gig investment philosophy, current Gig investment opportunities, develop your own investment strategy, and future Gig investment opportunities. So under Gig investment philosophy, we look at the stages of the investor's journey and some general investment guidelines. So the stages of the journey will take you from struggle, stability, success, significance, and there's our definition. Struggle is income less expenses. You are still in a minus. Stability is you're in a plus. Success means you have 3 or more sustainable growing income streams. And significance is where you now have sufficient wealth that you can appoint a panel of professionals to look after your investments, and that's called the family office. Now, when you are still in struggle, you can still be part of the Gig Investors Club. Open up your account, put in some money, try and get at least 500 up to 2,000, spread it over various investments, and then also simultaneously put money into your loan link share account and work up to the point of at least 4,000 Rand, because remember, on the loan link share account, whatever money you've got in there, you can then borrow against up to 3 times interest-free. And then you use this interest-free money to start investing in various options as well. But some of the current options that we have is cattle, Forex, gold. And then when we say own, it's also opportunities that you see yourself and that you might even work together with friends. And we say this period of your investment is called crowdfunding, because your own money is too small to invest significantly into big projects unless you do it as a crowd. The next one is what we call participative funding. It's also a combination with crowdfunding. When you're in stability and now you've got more than 2,000, but still less than 100,000 available spread over various investments, and you have gradually built up your loan link share account to 10,000 Rand so that you can access 30,000 in a loan. Still the same opportunities available from Gig side, but then as own, you can now also, whatever you can borrow plus a few of your friends, what they can borrow, you can now put your money together and put it into larger kinds of investment opportunities. Then when you reach success is when we refer to you as a sophisticated investor. You have more than 100,000, you're still building up to a million investments spread over various investments. You've got more than 100,000 in your loan link share account, and you can now access many more opportunities, and you are called sophisticated because with your own money, you can also now access money from institutions like banks, buy property, and so forth. And then ultimately, you've got more than 1 million spread over various investments. You've got more than 100,000 in loan link share, and you can do all sorts of interesting things with your money. So to get there, some further considerations is while you're in struggle stage, what should you focus on? Focus on increasing your income. One of the things that for those who are interested, you can speak to your legacy coach, and we recommend that you get involved with an entity like New Life that will teach you all aspects of business, and you start from home for a minuscule amount and build internationally. But you can also look at what hobbies have you got that you love to do, but find a way to maybe commercialize your hobbies. And then mitigate risk. The first thing we encourage you to do, if you're not yet on our Wealth Builder package where you have the funeral cover, get that. Otherwise, if you already got other funeral cover, that's good. When you can afford it, it's good to have short-term cover on things like very expensive assets like your laptops and things that you carry around with you, and also your cars. And then what you can get for free within GIG is let your will and testament be done. Contact your legacy coach, will help you with that. But it's a crisis if you die without the will and testament, and you create a lot of concern and unnecessary cost and hassle for your families. So get all of that in place while you're doing this stage. And then grow your GIG team. What we mean by that is tell other people about GIG. And for every person that you bring into the GIG movement and the GIG bank, you are then the referrer of that person, and there's a referral fee based on the person's monthly membership fee that you then earn, and over time that can be enough to even pay for your own membership monthly fee, and surplus can then go towards your investment. Then once you're in stability, focus on increasing your income, but also now that you've grown your GIG team, think of becoming a legacy coach. And the way to mitigate the risk, if you can, take out life and disability cover, because life happens and you don't want to be without cover. Take out provision for education of your children, even take out the policy if you need to, and talk to us about medical insurance, or if you have your own medical cover for that. And then as a sophisticated investor, you look at all the same things, but now you look at stabilize and protect your income. And you do this by surrounding yourself with clever people. And you can speak to our GIG Wealth, and we can then help you to set up your team of an accountant that will look after all your financials, lawyer if you need to look after agreements. Your wealth coach will be your business advisor or your advisor on general things. But if there's a specialist field, we've got business specialists that we can also refer you to. And you mitigate risk by now taking out key person insurance. If you have a business, look after your employees through an employee benefit program. Spread your risks. You also have overseas investment, and make sure that you've got succession planning in place for all your business activities. And then the ultimate is still focus on succession structures, but appoint the GIG Wealth to look after your family office, and then on an individual basis, we will help you structure that arrangement. So these are just general considerations. Then a general investment guide, and obviously bring in the specialist to help you through this, but keep in mind that whatever money you have, if it's 1,000 rand, you apply those percentages. If it's 100,000, you apply those percentages. So the amount of money is not the determination, but over time, make sure that your assets are spread over the following percentages. 40% in high liquidity, and what we mean by high liquidity is that you can quickly get access to your funds within 48 hours to 3 months. And you're not so much interested on the return on investment, that's what ROI stands for, but aim for at least 5 to 10% per annum. Now, typical examples that we can give you already is the 32-day call account from the community bank. We can give you market investments through GIG Wealth, and by investing in physical gold, that's also a way to ensure that you are protecting the inherent value from your money. So if you would have receive 10% per annum and you take 40% of your money in it, so 10% times 40% will give you 4% effective contribution to your overall return on investment. Then for the other 30%, have less liquid. So it means, your money is tied up for 6 to 12 months before you can call it up, but still put it in relatively low risk investments. But if you can aim for 10 to 20% per annum. So there we can give you the 6 to 12 month investment deposits from GIG, and the GIG Investor Club will already give you more than 10% per annum. Now, let's say you could get 20% per annum plus the 30% of your money. So 20 times 30 would then give you the 6% overall contribution. The other 20%, less liquid, higher risk, and your money is then tied up for maybe 1 to 5 years. Aim for more than 20%. And a typical example would be if you start your own business or you are taking shareholding in some other people's businesses, but it might take up to 2 years, 18 months, 2 years before you get through break even and start having surplus. That's a good one, that after a couple of years, your initial investment is small, but you're still a shareholder, and it can give you way more than 20% per annum returns. Then have 10% for high risk, high returns. And you're not taking a chance. My philosophy is don't invest in things that you don't understand. Do your due diligence, but understand there's a risk that you could lose all your money. But what if it comes off? And currently we can offer you Forex trading, but you can also look at new ventures. I don't understand enough about cryptocurrency. Some people make some good money there. But let's say you do then get 50% plus return on your money per annum, and only 10% of your money is tied up there. That could add another 5%. So if you now add the overall contribution, because of the way you have structured and spread your risks and over the various asset classes, you could, in your own hands, look at a return of close to 20% per annum, just by doing it according to these guidelines. Now let's look at our current gig investment opportunities. The first one is the cattle feedlot, and it basically says you invest your money, funds are paid to Beef Corps that buys the calves, fatten them, put it in the feedlot, slaughter them, sell the meat, and repeat the cycle. And your money is tied up for an investment term of 12 months. And after 12 months, you then share in the growth on that investment. Minimum investment is 500 Rand, and historic growth has been 14% on this investment. Another one is gold. And gold, we recommend physical gold. If you currently buy an ounce of gold, it's in the region of 33,000, 34,000 and keep going up. But you can buy half ounce, quarter ounce, or if you contact Jason, he can assist you that you can also buy fractional gold, where you put your money in a holding account, and as soon as we have enough money to buy an ounce, which works out the cheapest, then you'll get your portion of how many grams you own. And then over time, you can build it up like that. The investment term is decided by the investor because it's so liquid that within 48 hours, you can get your money back if you sell your gold. But you can also keep it for as long as you want. You can keep it in your own hands where you want to store it, or through Jason, he can show you where we have facilities of a vault where we can then co-use the vault. Historic growth of gold is in excess of 10% per annum. And where we are now with the uncertainties in the world, we predict that percentage to go up even higher. But don't look at gold from a speculation point of view. It's there to protect the intrinsic value of your money. And then you can also, now we call it Forex trading currency pairs. We've got a specialist trader. The investment term is 6 months. You need a minimum of 1,000 per investment intake. There's an intake every 1 month. And by the way, on the cattle feedlot, the investment intake is every 2 months, and your money is then there tied up for 12 months, whereas on the Forex is tied up for 6 months. But you could then do it every month and a minimum investment of 1,000 Rand. And historic growth on that is in the region of 15% plus. For further information, you can contact Audrey Mathabula. So for people who already have some serious money and you maybe get a retrenchment package or you retire, we do have a team of trained specialists in Gig Wealth. They can help you if you've got 100,000 plus. We can give you access to some conventional investments, and the kind of investment term can be anything of 1 month to 5 years. And there the historic growth is 4 to 11% per annum. And there you can talk to Musi Kubeka. So to think of an investing strategy, we say, first of all, start with a budget. Try and commit to a monthly amount if possible. And I know it's not always possible, but for those of you who do have it, have the access to a monthly amount, do it if you can. Now, let's say you take 1,000 Rand, so that's 12,000 over a year, and assume a 10% growth. How would you then allocate in our current investment pool that 13,200? I propose that you put 6,000 in cattle. Remember, you can only do it every 2 months. So maybe you put 2,000 every 2 months. Oh, no, where are we? 6. Yeah, 1,000 every 2 months. Forex, you do it every month, but then after the month 7, the first month's money comes free and you can then reinvest that. And then loan link share, invest 1,200 so that after a year, you can borrow up to 3,600 and buy gold with it. Might only be 3 grams of gold, we don't know. But that's how you slowly but surely get your portfolio going. Then the second thing is structure your investments so that long-term investments become more liquid. And you do that by building an investment pipeline. And the example that I've already started to quote is cattle that's every 2 months. Let's say you've invested every 2 months 1,000 Rand in it. Then after a year, the first investment of February last year will start to pay out. And you can then reinvest that if you want to, or just take the growth and reinvest the rest, plus whatever the new amount is. But it starts bringing you a regular every 60 days and some money that pays out. On Forex, it's 1,000 Rand. Your money is tied up for 6 months, but then after 6 months, that first month's investment pays out plus the growth, and then you can just reinvest that, or you can add to it. That doesn't matter how you do it. But this way, you start having every 30 days, every 60 days, you've got money coming back to you, and it just gives you that excitement of you can see the momentum building, and you start thinking like an investor, and you can make quality decisions. So that's what we recommend. And then guidelines on reinvesting growth. Don't eat up your growth if you can avoid it, but do pay a tithe just so that you feel good about it. And when I say tithe, you don't necessarily have to give it to a church, but bless someone with it. And then yourself, treat yourself. In the beginning, that 10% will be minuscule, but might be enough for a milkshake or a hamburger, or take your wife out for a meal, and then reinvest 80%. So these are just guidelines. You can do it's your money, you can do with it what you want. And then tax guidelines, understand that we're not handling your tax. Wherever you invest, whatever growth you receive, tax is then payable in the hands of the investor. But the tax law says you declare your income, but then also whatever expenses you have against setting up that income. So where we are aiming in future trading, future investment opportunities is card trading. When the time is right, we'll tell you more about it. We're talking to people where they are now defining a cattle unit, a goat unit, and a sheep unit, so that it become almost commodities like gold, that you can own a portion or a couple of cattle. You never know, you never meet your cow, but whenever you want to trade it back in, you trade it in at the market value at that time. And we're talking to professional people that handle that. Property, we will soon, once the investor group has grown substantially and we've got more money, then we'll also start taking holding in property. And then where my heart is, if we can get big funders and to help us, but then we can start investing into small business, and people will then have an opportunity to invest in the future stars of business, but they start small.